So here's the big question. How are entrepreneurs like us, who have been hustling and struggling to make it to success, who seem to make it one step forward only to fall two steps back, who are dedicated, determined, and driven, how do we finally break through and win? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. My name is Brian Kelly, and this is the Mind, Body, Business Show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mind, Body, Business Show. We have an amazing guest with us here tonight. He comes from up north, at least in relation to myself, coming all the way to us from Canada on the west side, the west coast. And I cannot wait to share this young man's brilliance with you. His name is Gene Bernier, and he is coming on with a plethora of experience, and he's going to be dropping massive value all evening long. The Mind, Body, Business Show. That is a show that I had put together with you in mind, the entrepreneur, the small business owner, the person looking to gain that little extra advantage to take your business to the next level. And by bringing on people like Gene, who are vastly experienced, who have achieved success, you can then simply listen to them and model what they have done to achieve that success. That is the whole purpose of the show, is to really showcase amazing people so that you, as the viewer and the listener, can do the same by simply taking notes. And I highly recommend you take a lot of notes during this show. I know for a fact that Gene will be dropping some incredible knowledge bombs and smart bombs and bombs of wisdom throughout the show. And just stay with us during the show and take notes. The reason for the name of the show is because I began studying only successful people for a period of about a decade, trying to find out what is it about them that made them perhaps more successful than me. It's like, well, how do they put on their pants differently? Maybe they run and jump and land and both feet go in at the same time. I mean, what is so special? Why are they more successful? And of course, that's not the case. At least I don't think. I've never asked that question, to be honest. But really what came and trickled to the top time and time again was three areas. And yes, that's part of the name of the show. And I call them the three pillars of success. It's kind of like a tripod. If you take any leg away from a tripod, well, that tripod comes tumbling down. And there's usually something very expensive on top, and you don't want that to happen because it might break. Same thing with business, same thing with life. So mind is all about mindset. So to a person, everyone I studied had a very powerful and, even more importantly, flexible mindset. Body is literally what that means, is taking care of one's own body through nutrition and through regular exercise. And then business is very, very multifaceted. Now, what these successful individuals had done is they had mastered certain skill sets that are required to create and develop and nurture and build and grow a successful business. Skill sets like sales, marketing, team building, systematizing, leadership. I could keep going almost all night. There's a lot. The good news is, here's the thing. To master any one thing by itself can take a long time. I mean, to become an expert in something, I think the go-to number is do it for 10,000 hours, and now you can be called an expert in that field. Well, the same is with mastering skill sets. However, the good news is you personally don't have to master every single skill set. In fact, if you concentrate on one of those above and beyond all of the others that I mentioned, in fact, one of those that I did mention was just a moment ago. If you focus on just that one, then you honestly don't even need to master any of the others that I mentioned. And so you can save yourself a bunch of time in trying to master all these skill sets. And that one skill set, if you master it, will help you to leverage and build with other people who do have mastery in those skill sets. And the one skill set I'm talking about for you to master is the skill set of leadership. And that's a perfect segue because Gene Bernier is here to talk about things around leadership. So, oh my gosh, I'm excited. You do definitely want to pull out your notebook And another wonderful, amazing trait of the most successful people I've met over my life is that they are also very avid readers of books. And not just any books, but those that are read with a purpose to get you farther in life, whether it's business or personal. And with that, what I'd like to do is segue really quickly to a little segment I like to call Bookmarks.
Bookmarks. Born to read. Bookmarks. Ready, steady, read. Bookmarks. Brought to you by reachyourpeaklibrary.com.
Yes, there you see reachyourpeaklibrary.com as you're watching. If you're watching on video, if you're listening on podcast, it's reachyourpeaklibrary.com. And real quick, this is where I want to make the statement very, very strongly, is urge you to take notes, even when it comes to website addresses, resources, because the common thing that people like to do is go click away and go checking out these resources while the show's still going. And I really would highly recommend that you do not do that and rather pull out a notepad and write all of these resources down and visit them after the show is over. And the reason is because the magic happens in the room. And I would just hate for, Gene to be dropping one of those knowledge bombs at the very moment you've taken your attention elsewhere, and you may miss that one golden nugget that could have changed your life forever. That is the reason I recommend you take notes and take a lot of them, because get ready for writer's cramp in the best way. So reachyourpeaklibrary.com. What is that? That is a website that I had developed literally with you in mind. I myself was not an avid reader until about 10 years ago. And then I began to realize, oh my goodness, this is a gold mine and I haven't been tapping into it. So what I did is I began reading voraciously over that period. And every book that had profound impact on me, either in business or in personal life, or even in both, I began compiling a list. And then I had my team throw up this website where now all of those books, only those books that had profound impact, so not every book I read, is now on this site. There's no rhyme or reason to their order. They're not alphabetic. They're not chronologic. They just went in. And so what I recommend to you is you just find the first book that jumps off the page. Look at the little description. You don't need to scroll through every single one of them. Be a person who takes action and just go get it. And look, these just go straight to Amazon. This is not a money-making website per se. It is here simply as a gift and a resource for you, so you can start going farther down that path. If you're not reading today, this would be a good place to start. If you are a reader and you have been avidly reading, I'll bet you'll find one or two titles in here you haven't read before. This is another great resource for you. So that is there for you. And speaking of being there for you, we have somebody here that is definitely here for you. His name is Gene Bernier, and it is time to bring this amazing young man to the forefront and get him on camera. Here we go.
It's time for the Guest Expert Spotlight. Savvy, skillful, professional, adept, trained, big league, qualified.
And there he is, ladies and gentlemen. It is the one, it is the only, with an amazing haircut, Mr. Gene Bernier. Yeah.
Hey, Brian. Thank you so much for having me on the show today.
Oh, my goodness. I'm so glad. I didn't know I had a twin, and now I finally found him. This is amazing. I mean, this is crazy. Look at this. I mean,
it's like looking in a mirror, honestly.
I'll tell you.
They're not gonna know which one of us it is.
This is freaking awesome. Hey, real quick before we jump in, and I know you're just going to ooze value for everyone that's watching. We already have a couple people commenting. Thank you. Keep doing that, please, for those of you watching live. A little bit of housekeeping. Take care of our sponsors. For those of you watching, you can see over Gene's left shoulder, that's the right side of the screen. At the very top is a red-looking stamp of approval, and that is the Big Insider Secrets. And they are our sponsor. Yes, over there. They are our sponsor, and what they are providing for us to give away to you, to one lucky winner who stays on to the very end of the show, a 5-night vacation at a 5-star luxury resort. Once again, compliments of the Big Insider Secrets. My buddy Jason Nast runs that, and thank you, Jason and the Big Insider Secrets. We get to give this away every single week on our show, and it's a great, wonderful prize. And then we've got a couple more to cover, and then we'll get into this young man's wonderful brain over here. His name is Gene Bernier, as you can see right there. So real quick, couple more. And if you're struggling with putting a live show together and it's overwhelming and you want a lot of the processes done for you while still enabling you to put on a high quality show and connect with great people like Mr. Gene Bernier and grow your business all at the same time, then head on over to carpetbombmarketing.com. But just write this down. Don't go there now. Carpet Bomb Marketing. Saturate the marketplace with your message. And one of the key components that is contained in the Carpet Bomb marketing system is one that you'll learn how to absolutely master. It is the very service we use to stream our live shows right here on the Mind Body Business Show. In fact, we're using it this very moment. And over the course of over 9 years now, we've tried many of these quote unquote TV studio solutions for live streaming. And StreamYard, I'm telling you right now, it is the best of the best. It combines supreme ease of use along with unmatched functionality. So you can start streaming high quality, professional looking live shows for free with StreamYard now. Not this second though. Write this address down. It's ryp.im/stream live altogether. ryp.im/stream live. Yes, that is a web address. I know it's a strange one, but it is, and it works. All right, back to the man of the hour, literally of the hour. So Gene Bernier, let's give him the respect that's due to him. What do you think? I'm going to give him a great introduction, and it's a phenomenal one because he wrote it. That's why it's so great. So Gene Bernier is a coach, consultant, LiveCast host, husband, and father. He spent over 20 years in the world of tech as a leader, building high-performing teams and delivering predictable results for clients across many industries. You know, I knew there's another reason you're my brother. Tech, come on, this is just getting too good. As an enjoyment coach, he works with his clients to step beyond their comfort zone, begin facing their challenges, and to find one thing that brings joy to their lives every day. I love this. Gene supports his mission through his show, LiveCast Conversation by interviewing guests and unlocking their personal stories behind their success. Wow, that sounds very similar to another show I can think of. We are brothers. There's no doubt. There's no doubt. With that, officially and formally, welcome to the show, my brother, Gene Bernier.
Thank you very much for having me again, Brian. It's been great. Yeah, there is a lot of similarities that are going on as you're reading it. We've got tech, we've got LiveCast enjoyment happening, and we love unlocking other people's secrets to show them. You know, one of the things that really resonates with me is, like, I think the quote by Jim Rohn, where he talks about success leaves clues. And through shows like this, we get to turn those clues into billboards. And I think that's a really powerful thing because people are constantly on the lookout for them. They need the help. And they also need to understand that, you know what, we've all been through there. And it's sometimes nice just not to feel alone, especially in the times that we've been dealing with over the last 2 years.
Well put, well put. Hey, we got some folks that I want to say hi to, or let's say hi to you. Andy Ian Miller says, good on you, Gene Bernier, with a nice thumbs up. And then we have Eliza says, hi, Brian. She's actually coming to us through, by the way, of the Philippines. So thanks for coming on,
Eliza. Thanks for watching.
And then we have Prince Io. I love this guy. He's an amazing. I know him personally. Greetings, Brian. Have a great show. Thanks for coming on, and stay on with us till the end so you can ask Mr. Bernier some wonderful questions throughout the show. We love participation. I just love to surprise the guests with a really crazy question. I'm kidding. No, we're gonna never do that. Never do that. At least not on purpose. I'll put it that way. So what I like to do, Gene, is, you know, your bio tells a lot about you. Just in talking to you, I know that you've already achieved great success. You're very experienced. You're a tech guy. I mean, come on, you got it all. It's like, man, it's like a bromance, even though, you know, we are brothers. So, got another one. Stephen, I don't know how to say that last name. I will. Hasishiel says, great to see you guys. I can tell the difference between you two. Good. I know it's but there's just a little one, but not much. Thanks for noticing. Thanks for coming on, Stephen. Appreciate that. What I like to do is dig deeper, Gene, because there are commonalities between very successful people. I learned when I did that study of very successful people over a decade. And what I like to do is kind of peel or open up the curtain a little bit so people can peek inside, because what I've found, Gene, is more often than not, the reason for success or lack thereof is all about what's going on between those two ears. So for you, what I wanted to do is find out what is going on in your brain that is keeping you going day in and day out. Being an entrepreneur is not a simple thing. And we know that. And every day we get up, there are arduous tasks to tackle. There are issues. That's why we do what we do. We're problem solvers. But when you get up knowing that you're about to tackle all these tasks, what is it that just keeps you going, keeps you positive, that keeps you driven and driving through each and every day, knowing all these things are in front of you?
Well, maybe it helps a little bit to like reframe that. I wasn't always that way. Like there were days like back in, like you say I'm a young man. I'm 41. I'm not super young, but I'm not even at the halfway mark yet. So I've still got tons to learn. But, there was times that like getting myself out of bed in the morning was just like, I don't want to face another day. Like I'm grinding. I've got like this mountain of to-do tasks to do in front of me and feeling like there was no direction. I'm just like, why am I busy? Like, I just feel like this badge of busyness became like this weight. And the more that we tried to chop off things off the to-do list, the more that to-do list grew. It was like a hydra. You kill one and three more show up. And it's just like never ending. I'm like, you know what? I'll take a break once I get through all this. I got to multiple burnout stages where I never took any of those breaks because they never magically happened. And so, part of like where I am now is like I kind of start taking this step back going, there's got to be a better way. I know there's a better way. There's people out there that I can see from, reading, from watching podcasts and everything else, and some people around me that don't seem to be stressed about work and are still crushing it. Like, what's happening? And, not only are they like positive, they seem to have good relationships and their bodies aren't falling apart or, like at, midway through your 30s, like this is all possible. What is this magic? Right.
Yes.
So I kind of went on this adventure of, I look back on it now as an adventure. And I think at the time it was like this needed self-intervention of like starting to be like, I need to, I'm not happy with where I'm at. So I can remember this day still sitting in my car. I'd gotten back from the doctors. I thought I was going to be going there to talk about depression. And he's just like, your heart rate is way too high for a young man your age. Like, are you working out? I'm like, no. Are you meditating? He's like, I'm like, no. What are you talking about? And he's just like, you know what? I know you probably thought you were coming here to get some pills or medication because this is getting hard, but I want you to go do some work on yourself. I'm giving you a prescription to go hit the gym and to meditate. And I drove home and I kind of sat with that. And I sat in my car in the driveway and this like message came in. It's just like, start doing the things that you're uncomfortable about. Start doing those things that you keep saying no to because you're afraid of what somebody might say or what it might look like or or Lord forbid, you fail. And it was just like this aha moment. I'm like, all right, I'm going to start on this journey of being like doing things outside of my comfort zone. And that was in 2015. And it just kind of like has slowly taken off over then, the things that I've been able to do. So where does that look like today? It's like, it's exercising regularly. It's meditating because it helps keep my brain a little bit quiet. It looks like wrapping my day up with a set routine. One of the things I've realized about myself is that if I can start my day with the pieces I can control, which is like, how am I going to get out of bed? Am I going to get out of bed and be happy about it? That's within my control. Am I going to go work out first thing? Yep, because that's in my control. Can I meditate? Yep. If I have all those things in my control, that's my first start of my bookend, because I know once my day starts, once I start working with my clients or running around with the kids or whatever else responsibilities come up, because obviously I'm working from home. That's the way that this goes. I know that I've already invested in myself, and that's key. And then at nighttime, I have a little routine where I read and I journal out the 5 things that I'm grateful for, and I write down the 1 thing that I've learned or like that's come up in the day. I've got notebooks filled with that stuff now. And when I hit those, it doesn't matter what happens else. I already know I put the money in for myself. I've invested in myself, and the rest is going to go forward.
Oh, all right. You know it's coming. It's coming.
There it is.
Oh my goodness, that's the show, everybody. He just summed it all up in 5
See you guys
minutes.
later.
He's waving. I love it. Oh my goodness, smart bombs, bombs of wisdom, knowledge bombs just dropping everywhere. Oh my goodness, I'm getting right. So look, I was asking people, imploring of them to take notes. I'm running the whole show and everything, and I'm taking notes myself. So I never ask people or recommend people do things that I don't personally do. But my goodness, so many nuggets. There is, getting comfortable with being uncomfortable is another quicker way to phrase. To recap, I don't want to reiterate everything you said because it would take twice as long, right? But exercise and meditation. I mean, that's so key. And like the second word of this show, body, that's what that's all about. That it changes your life. It changes your attitude. It really does. It's like the least expensive, wonderful drug on the planet with no bad side effects. It is amazing.
100%. I cannot rave enough about, like, just get out there and move. It doesn't matter at what level you're at. It just matters that you can move, right? Like, my level is much different than the when I was in 2015 to where I will be in another 10 years. And that's because you just start. You just got to start, right? So, like, one of the things that I talk about a lot is, like, it's all starts with one. It doesn't matter what that one is, as long as you start with it, right? And I find sometimes people will be looking at the challenges that they've got and go, oh, this is a big elephant. Where do I even go? Be like, it doesn't, just grab a fork and go. Like, it doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter if you get it all done that day. Did you get the most important thing accomplished, which is giving to yourself, right? So that, one of the big things that I preach for myself more than anything else is that I want to make sure that my cup is full so that everything that spills over, and I know what can happen if I drain my cup or all my reserves. I've got nothing to give to my kids, nothing to give to my wife, and definitely nothing to give to my clients. And in that order, there's actually wife, kids, clients, right? But, like, at the end of the day, I want to make sure that I give everything that I can to those that are important to me. And that means I'm important to me. Do I love myself as if I love somebody else? Like, those are, like, some of the newer questions that come up for me on a regular basis now.
Yeah, we will often do more for others than we will do for ourselves. Isn't that so true? And great tips on just getting started, especially how many times even to this day, I get up and like, oh, I don't feel like it. I'm just going to stay. I'm just going to stay here and be a little lump on the couch for a while. But one thing I found that was really, really easy to do that get me jump started was to just go outside and get in the sun. Hopefully you live in a place where you can do that on a regular basis, but I like to do that in the morning. I'll go out and maybe do some jumping jacks. I'll take my coffee out there, set it out on the table in the backyard patio, go out in the grass, do some jumping jacks, even run a few laps. We have a pretty good sized lawn. And just to get the heart rate going. And then you're like, okay, I feel great. Now I'll go work out, right? It just jump starts it. And the other part I wanted to bring up on that, Gene, because I used to be into fitness big time as a trainer, is that I remember I'm one of those competitive guys, right? And I'm always thinking I'm going to go as far as I can until I can't do anymore. Well, now I'm 57 and parts of my body don't react as well as they used to. And it's been actually a godsend because I've learned to just be okay with doing enough rather than trying to do too much. And so what you were saying was ringing true. You don't have to just go all in, just start and you'll gradually increase and do it comfortably. Another fitness expert blew me away by saying, oh, you should not be doing anything that's causing you pain when you're working out. I said, what? What about no pain, no gain? Like, no, that's a misnomer.
That was bad advice.
So,
right. And we all used to live by the no pain, no gain. Like, I can think of, like, being in business situations where people are talking about no pain, no gain. Be like, no, this isn't feeling right. Is everybody enjoying any of this? Be like, no. Right. Especially if you're getting started. We've all been in those situations where maybe we haven't worked out for a little while. We're like, we're going to go big, and we go try to lift the biggest thing we can find the next day. Your body is in pain. You go, oh, I guess doing that's not for me. Look how painful it is.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you were talking about how if your cup isn't full, then you aren't there fully present for others, including your family. And that's what I love. That was a great point as well, because like, again, we will do more for our, others than we will for ourselves. And when you're not working out, when you're sluggish, when you're noticing that you're not feeling up to par, don't look at about yourself and how you're feeling, but how are you impacting those around you, or how are you not impacting them? But, you know, if you have kids, right, they're watching, they're like a sponge. It's monkey see, monkey do. So whatever you're doing, they're going to do. And that's the way you show up to your clients as well, right? Whatever you're showing up to your family is the same thing that your clients or prospective clients are going to be experiencing. If you're not at your top, what I like to call your peak level of performance, then it's going to show. It's kind of like a dog that can sense fear, right?
I like, you should be dropping your own knowledge bomb icon right now, sir. Like, that was great. But it's totally true. And, you know, one thing to add on to that whole peak component is, like, you only know what your peak is based on where you are today, right? And that peak is something that's going to continue to move. And that in itself is okay. Like, right? Are you able to move that? Are you able to get to a point where you're like, that used to be a peak for me 2 years ago, and now look at me. Like, I wonder what's next. Getting that, like, super curiosity around being uncomfortable, around that level of uncertainty, you know, if that's what you're looking for. Now, there are people going to look at that and go, but I'm happy with my life. Then you're already doing it. You're at the best part that you could be. Like, celebrate that, share with what you're doing, right? But if there's any point in your life that you're like, I don't feel like content, I don't think that I've accomplished what I should be doing, be like, well, then this advice is definitely for you. That's that. Get started, get pushing, get, you know, the only way that you're going to build muscles, and I use, like, the gym metaphor a lot, is like, because it holds true, is like, your mental toughness and your mental resilience only grows with resistance, right? You have to work through the resistance. You have to go to those points where you're like, I might collapse under this. Oh, I got it. And if you need a spotter, there's a ton of people that are around to be able to help you spot that and make sure you get through it. But you need to sit under that weight sometimes.
Resistance, another golden word. That's another kind of a synonym for being uncomfortable, right? Yeah. So it's the resistance is there because of the discomfort. You're feeling discomfort either physically or mentally. And I learned this great. I learned to say this one word. If I knew it felt good. I knew it would be good for me. But man, all those other voices are going on and telling me why I shouldn't go forward. Yeah. But if I felt deep down, I knew this was good, and maybe it was going to cost a lot of money, and I didn't have all that money. But if I just sat there and used that excuse and never went to the person and said, can we work something out? Nothing would have ever happened. So I learned to say this one word over and over again, and it just made all the difference. There's actually a movie with Jim Carrey by the very title of this movie, and it's Yes Man.
Yeah.
And so I learned that, and I was sitting there. I'll never forget. One of my mentors was actually teaching, and I knew that he was about to do another upsell. That was something he commonly did. And I actually look forward to them because every one that I had attended was a life changer. And then the price came out and I was like, okay, that's going to be a stretch. I just said yes to myself. And I walked up, we struck a deal. We made it work. I paid them in full over time, and I got the result I needed and wanted. And I didn't listen to all those voices. So yes is a very powerful word. And be sure that it's in your, alignment with your values before you say yes. Don't go too fast, but you'll know it. You'll know it if it feels right. It's just those other.
Yeah, and that power of yes is like, it's powerful. And like we talked about before the show, so is the word no, right? Like you have to use those no's to protect the right yeses, right? Like think about the yeses like a bucket of yeses. You can only hold so many yeses, which means you've got all those yeses. Every time you say yes, you're making a commitment. Sometimes that's a little yes. Sometimes that's a big yes, right? And you've only got so much room in your bucket to put a yes in. So use those no's to protect it so you've got the right ones. But don't let the no be the thing that stops you from taking a chance.
Absolutely agree, my man. You know what that warrants? Yes. Yeah, this, my gosh. I didn't know what to expect when you came on the show, but you've exceeded all expectations that either I or anyone else could have had.
You, sir, are being far too kind.
Yeah, the amount of knowledge you're dropping and wisdom, I sincerely hope everyone is taking very voracious notes. Oh my goodness. I'm getting writer's cramp over here, and it's a great writer's cramp. I love it. And he's saying, ladies and gentlemen, Gene is saying all of the things. I look at it as like a recipe book. If you're going to bake a cake, for instance, I've never baked one in my life, but I'm pretty confident that if I got a recipe of a very good cake, that if I follow the directions, I went and got the proper ingredients and I mixed it up the way it said, and I put it in the oven for the right temperature for the right amount of time, I'm very confident I could make one hell of a tasty cake, which I wouldn't eat, but because it's not good. But just for a metaphor here. And here's the thing: the beautiful thing is the same thing is true in success and business. Yeah. There are probably, I don't know, hundreds or thousands of recipes for cakes that are phenomenally really good. But how many do you really need to find a good one? Just one. And so when it comes to business, that's one of the problems with us as entrepreneurs. That shiny object is all over the place and we're going after it. But if we find that one individual, that one person that would agree to mentor us, then that's when I say grab on to both of their ankles and do not ever let go until they say it's hurting and let go.
Like using coaches and mentors and like people that are willing to like give you a little bit of their time, like take every chance of that. And again, strike out to the uncomfortable side of things is like reach out and ask them. There are a lot of successful people out there that love to do that kind of stuff. It's like it's an ego boost for them going, hey, I really respect you and I look up to you. And they'll give, more often than not, they'll give you a little bit of time or give you a response, depending on how busy their schedule is and if they're actually the ones watching their email or whatever else. But like strike out, like you just never know. I think it was Gary Vee used to talk about like, take a chance on rolling up to whatever it is, be like roll up to the girl at the bar that you would never have said yes to, roll up to the business choice that you'd never say, like Brian, you're talking about, roll up and take a chance on stepping beyond going to the next workshop that is like really calling to you. Like just take that chance. It's so important because guess what? We're all going to get to our deathbed. We're all going to be there. It's our choice about how many regrets we're going to pull along with us.
And what kind of legacy we leave. The example we've set for our kids, if we have them, and just people we've dealt with and gone through with life. And here's the thing though, so that everybody is very clear, Gene might be, I just know I'm not perfect. No one person's perfect. No one person has the best day every day. You have your off days and be okay with that. You have the days where things don't go right or you're not in a great frame of mind. 2 days ago, that was me. Then yesterday, things lifted way back up. I knew it was coming back, so I just kept going through the day. It's one of those things when you think everything that could go wrong does go wrong, and you're like, how is this happening? I'm such a positive person. This is starting to literally piss me off right now. And then, so we're human. If you see nothing but fun and glowing Facebook posts and LinkedIn and everything's just perfect, and I know you see that with a lot of people out there, know that they have their struggles just like you do. They're no different than you are.
Yeah. What you're seeing on most of those social media posts is only the best version because people think this is what you need to see. Be like, I disagree with that. I think that they need to see the unpolishedness, right? Like I've turned myself, like when I do posts, I try to do it in one take. Like I don't, and even if it's not perfect, I'll still post it because like, I think people need to understand that you don't need to be this most highly polished thing that doesn't really exist. We're trying to live up to a standard that doesn't actually exist in the real world. No wonder people get upset or depressed when they're looking at, social media and stuff. Be like, oh, I can never be like them. Be like, they're not like them either. So like, it's okay.
Exactly. And here's the thing, if you're putting yourself out there as all positive and nothing could go wrong, they cannot relate to you. They cannot say, well, they will just say, I will never be like him. So the odds of them actually doing business with you are decreased when you are not being authentic and transparent. Yeah. And because they just say, I can't attain that, so there's no way I'm going to even start with the next step with that person. But when you show transparency, authenticity, it's like, hey, that person puts on their pants one leg at a time, and they're just like me. They have their own issues. You know what? That's cool. But he's also very successful, or she's very successful. and they figured something out that I haven't, but there's that commonality that takes them past that word that Gene brought up, resistance, and they will go and be more apt to do business with you.
Oh, 100%. Being authentic is so important. Like up on my whiteboard here, I've got the laws of from Bob Berg's book, The Go-Giver. Number 4 is authenticity. Like that is your greatest gift that you can give to somebody, is being the real you, right? Because that's how real relationships can be established. And I think that in the business world, and like in the world period, it's all about relationships. Relationships are a form of energy. What kind of energy are you going to have out there, right? Or do you want to have the good energy, or do you want to be like building all this stuff up on a fake non-existent, right? It's really hard to maintain that.
Fantastic. Wow. All right, let's give the folks a little bit more something to chew on. That, and by the way, everything that he has been talking about so far this is gold. There is no secret. It's a recipe. He's got a recipe to success. Follow it if you have not yet followed a recipe for success. That's simple. I hope you took notes, and if not, go back and watch this video again. Go back and listen to the podcast again, and then take notes, and then go back and listen to it again and again until it's part of everything Gene has said is the recipe, the ingredients that go into the recipe for success. And I literally, I'm not kidding, I have goosebumps under my jacket. I am just so pumped and excited because Gene is hitting it on every front. It's amazing. And it's because he's my long lost twin I didn't know about. That's why. Oh my gosh. So I kind of opened the show by talking about skill sets and how important those are, to master certain skill sets in order to create a thriving, successful business. And I know that can change over time. What is the most important kind of skill set because we're always growing, we're always moving into the next phase of business, whether it's from technician to manager up to investor. But for you right now, Gene, if you were to just take a snapshot in time and you came up with three skill sets that you now know right now are key to your level of success, what would those be?
Ooh. Patience is like the first one. And that's, when you ask that's the first word that jumped to my mind, is like, we always wildly overestimate what we can do in a year and wildly underestimate what we can do in 10 years, right? And to get to that 10-year mark takes patience, and it takes consistency. So finding the things that you are going to be consistent with and moving forward and understanding them to do them on that regular basis, things that bring energy to you or energy to that goal that you can then gain the energy from, because not everything you're going to do is like inherently like, oh, I can't wait to go do the books. Be like, no, but that's a really important piece that you need to be consistent on, or else the CRA or the IRS is going to come at you. So I know both me and Brian are on the up and up on that side, so no worries there. And so I think it's those are the two key ones. And I think gratitude, like I live by gratitude. It's become such an integral part of my life. Used it for, I used to post my top 5 things I'm grateful for online all the time, got a lot of support with that. Now I just keep it private because it's really interesting on those days that you talked about being down. I'll go flip through it and just be like, I got a lot to be grateful for. And it's just that reminder just shifts my mindset and my emotions to get moving in the right direction. So like, I think if you can master those, deploy those 3 things, the rest kind of start working themselves out.
Wow, you just brought something up that got me to go deep into my heart there for a moment, because being grateful. The reason I have no hair right now is my wife is battling breast cancer, so I'm doing this to support her. And I told her I'm going to grow this until she is cancer free. That is the beard that those of you that can't see on the podcast. Yeah. No matter how ratty it ends up, I'll keep it trimmed and things, but it's in support of her. And one of the things I'm grateful for, literally, I'm grateful that I was chosen to be the one to take care of her during this time. And I feel so supremely blessed that I get to do this. And there's no one that loves her on this planet more than I do. but you just, man, I don't know where that came from. It just, what you were saying just hit right there. And I'm thinking, man, that's my go-to right now. I feel so supremely blessed that I get to take care of her and do whatever I can within my means to help her out. So great. And being grateful other ways, like when you get up in the morning, you could just start spatting off to yourself everything you're grateful for, even if it seems ridiculous. Like, oh, I'm so grateful that I get to see what I'm seeing right now. I'm the only one with this view in the entire universe right now. Nobody else sees exactly what I'm seeing right now. Thank you for that. I'm glad I can hear. I'm thankful that I can smell. I'm thankful that I have a house. I'm thankful. And you just go right, and you'll be amazed how your day is lifted, no matter how bad you're feeling at that moment. If you are feeling bad, and if you're not, you're going to feel even better, and you're just going to crush it. You're going to go work out.
Well, yeah, then you're going to be able to have that emotional state, which is in the right area, right? And, really emotion is just energy in motion. So how are you going to, if you've got the right energy that's in the motion, it's going to move you to do incredible things. So again, it's about using those 3 skills to position yourself to be in that right emotional state, because that's totally in our control.
Emotion is energy in motion. Did you make that up? Is that yours, or did you hear that somewhere else?
So I heard that from a coach I used to use, Trent Janish. Used to say that to me all the time. I don't know where he came up with it, but it's really resonated and stuck with me over the years.
It's so true.
Oh yeah.
And it's so cool because emotion can be positive or negative, and it will change the direction of that motion.
Yeah.
That's the beautiful.
Right.
I mean, it was like, this is perfect. The energy will be going either good or bad.
And you can even strip the good and bad component out of it. Like, energy just has a shape, right? Energy has a frequency. So depending on where you're at, like if you're in a lower range frequency, well, it doesn't reach as far. It doesn't get as much. It doesn't have as much opportunity to expand. If you've got like a high vibrational one, big peaks, and it can go for a long distance, be like, you can get a lot more done with that.
Speaking of energy and vibrations. Oh, yes, my goodness. It happens every week. This time flies. Let's see. Yeah, I'm thinking that'd be a good one. I'm just thinking what question would be good for you, for everybody watching right now, because we're talking about energy, we're talking about success, talking about recipes, comfort zone, all of the above. When it gets down to it, when it gets to brass tacks, we all do all the stuff we do for one reason and one reason only. It's not to make money. It's not to impress people. It is to achieve happiness. And so, Gene, I'm just going to come straight out and ask you, what is it for you? And it could be today, maybe other things make you happy later, but what is working? What makes you happy today as you stand there right now or sit there?
That's a great question. You know what makes me happy is doing this, right? Like before this show, like I was listening to a podcast by Lewis Howe, who had Rory Vaden on, and one of the comments, one of the takes on it was talking about going up in front of people, and Rory made a comment about, like service outweighs nervousness, right? Like if you're doing if you're being of service, then you're not worrying about how you look. You're worrying about, like, am I bringing value? And what makes me happy is knowing that I get to bring value, like, to my family, to myself. I live in this wonderful, like, place where everybody wants to go vacation. I take care of myself because I know that's important, and that allows me to be happy, to have the opportunity to understand, to taste it. I also know that happiness is fleeting, and it's something that we have to cultivate on. It's an emotion. It's a state. It's not there forever, right? There's a difference between, like, your immediate happiness and, like, long-term, like, contentness and bliss, right, and enjoyment. So how am I working towards being the man who's going to be able to have that long-term enjoyment and bliss? Yeah, and that makes me happy. I also, like, had this, like, realization the other week before taking a friend out for his birthday lunch. It's like this voice just showed up. Like, I talk a lot about voices, but this message just went, dude, you're living the life you thought you would when you retire, right? You get to work with great clients. You get to do your own things. You're continuing to grow, and you get to be there for your kids. right, as the work from home dad. I'm like it was just like that was such a different like body shift, and I'm still riding that high, right? It's just like none the rest of it doesn't matter anymore. It'd be like, got work to do, great. I didn't get everything done. Did I get my top 3 most important things accomplished that day? Yeah, that meant the most important things got done, and the rest of it is just anything else is just a cherry. So, like it's a long-winded way to say like those are all the ways that I go about just being happy. That's how that's how enjoyment is showing up for my life.
That's I think that's the moniker of an entrepreneur. It was funny that you said, I get to it's like you said, I get to retire. And the very next sentence you said, I get to work. I'm like, I love it. That's an entrepreneur right there. Because everyone else that is not in that space, retirement means not working, not doing anything, going and doing your hobbies until you die, which unfortunately happens very quickly when people turn in their working credentials for whatever they're, what if, Gene, okay, we are entrepreneurs. We are always looking to improve nonstop without end. What if it existed? What if there was that ceiling and you bumped up against it and there was no more improvement that you could go through? You could not create anything more than you've already done. I'm just curious, what would that feel like to you? Would that feel good or would that feel bad? How would that feel?
It's weird, right? Because it's just like the immediate thought was be like, I guess the journey's done, right? I got to the end, and I completed I beat the boss level. Like what now what? What's the new game, right? I think that we'll take that back to that retirement component about the people that turn in their credentials. This is like, as soon as you don't have a purpose anymore, or you don't have something that you're driving for, if you've completed everything and there's nothing else to touch, be like, I've lived a really fantastic life then, and I'm okay to let it up for somebody else to take on the next challenge.
Wow, wow. I love that take. I would always say I would just be bored out of my gourd, and that would not be a fun life anymore. And I like how you said, just, hey, good, I've hit the finish line, and now let's move over and let someone else have the fun. Oh man, that was awesome. That was awesome. Thank you for that. And
that's a great question.
Man, I gotta put that on my go-to list. Yeah, I'm glad there isn't one. There's no ceiling that I can see.
No.
But you and I, my humble opinion, there's only been one human being to ever walk this planet that could be called perfect, and none of us are that. And I'm glad because all we can do is continue to strive for it, knowing we will never reach it, which means until the day that we're called, it's going to be like that, and it won't be boring. That's good. That's good news to me.
It's not meant to be boring. So let's enjoy the ride, right? Like, just let's get on. We're already on it, and if you're watching it, you're already on the ride. Yeah, and stay on it, and enjoy it, and get the most that you can out of it, because like you never know what's going to happen tomorrow, and all you can do is like start working towards being the person that you want to be tomorrow, right? And you're never going to meet that person, but you can always be working towards achieving it.
And I think one of the secrets to happiness that a lot of people miss, that are more in a scarcity mindset because of their current financial situation. But what I've learned is the more I get to serve and help others, the more fulfilled and happy I am. Not serving and helping just myself. That happens by osmosis. When I help and serve others, I'm filled up. I'm just with joy, with everything. And yeah, we have to make money. And by the way, Gene, I want him, and hope everyone here agrees with me, to be absolutely showered in wealth. And why is that? Because I know someone like him is going to take that and use it to scale his business to serve more people and help more people. And that's why it's a beautiful thing. And yeah, I hope he gets some toys with that. Gives his kids whatever he feels right about giving. Takes his wife out to across the country, maybe back down into the U.S. into New York or whatever for dinner, whatever it is, would be well deserved. That's what I hope for you. And speaking of your business, I want to jump in that and find out what is it that, who are your ideal clients? Who do you cater to? And what kind of things do you do for them? And I'm going to actually pull up your website while you're explaining that, so people can get a tour of it.
All right, so this is always the interesting part about it is like now a little bit like a soft pitch of what I guess who I am and what I do, right? So peel back. Now people might look at that and go, he spelled that wrong. Be like, no, I didn't. So it's a bit of an acronym for my kids' names. So Presley, Elliot, Alice, and Logan. I was trying to figure out how to play within that, and that's
Wow.
where this came out from. So who are my ideal clients? Really, I work with people that are founders or high level leaders in any size of company, preferably like 20 plus people. It's kind of when they start to realize like, oh, I'm starting to need to change the way that I do my leadership. I actually need to be very clear. I'm getting to a point that the people that I need to communicate to aren't sitting right beside me all the time. And I'm starting to wonder like, why is nobody working as hard as I am? All these, typical founder questions that they're having as they're growing their teams. It's like, I work with those people to help them unlock, or peel back some of the challenges that are really happening. 9 times out of 10, it's you, and we can help you get so that you actually show up and be the model, right? It's Brian talked about being parents earlier. It'd be like monkey see, monkey do. If you're walking into your office with that low energy, it'd be like it's time to help you get back into enjoying it, so that you're looking forward to every day when you put your feet on the ground. You're excited to go to work, which means the rest of the people around you are probably going to be in the same boat.
Fantastic. And I love the whole use of the acronym on peeled back. And I forgot to mention it, that all of you that stay on to the end, also, there's a gift by this gentleman. So you don't want to miss this. Stay on to the end. And actually, we are almost at that moment. And what I like to do, Gene, is I like to end each show with a very interesting question.
Sure.
And it's an interesting question because I've asked this of many successful entrepreneurs such as yourself. And I started doing it. I asked a couple of them and I realized, wow, these are powerful and profound answers. And so I began making it a staple. And I have over 100 of these in my data now, my database. I love it. I'm actually going to compile a book by the name of the question with everyone's answer. With the permission of each individual, including you, Gene. But it's a very profound question. It can touch on being personal, and it's very powerful. But before we jump into that, it's prize time, ladies and gentlemen. Those of you stuck around with us live, good job. And now we're going to show you how you can win a 5-night stay at a 5-star luxury resort. Again, compliments of our pals at thebiginsidersecrets.com. And I'm going to put it up on the screen. So for this brief moment, you now have both Gene and my permission. Well, I shouldn't speak on his behalf, but he's my twin.
Go do this.
But to take your attention away for just a moment, because it's important that you go to the following website to enter to win. I'll put that up on the screen. So you'll want to pull out a web browser, whether it's on your phone or a tablet or a computer, and put in the address, the domain name, the URL, there's many words for it, website address, ryp.im/vacation, ryp.im/vacation. And there you just simply enter your name, your email address, your cell phone number, so we can reach out and remind you or connect with you and contact you. If you are chosen to be the winner, we choose one random winner every single show. So be sure to do that and do it right away so we can make that selection, that random selection, before the evening is over here in Southern California. And we'll bring Mr. Gene back on the screen. Hey, a little rhyme there. That was pretty good. And he has a gift as well. And so what I want to do is kind of turn it over to you, Gene, if that's cool with you. I'll put up basically the subject of what it's about, and I'll bring your website back for a little nice background. And go ahead and take it away.
All right. Yeah. So I want to give away a 2-hour coaching session for one viewer to sign up for and definitely connect. It's an opportunity to start going through the process. If you've never done coaching before, it's a great opportunity to just kind of dive in and go through some of the typical baseline questions that we go to set the stage for. No commitment or anything afterwards. This is an opportunity for me to give you some value, to say thank you for being on the show or watching the show today.
Fantastic. And the way they get to it, I'm going to put this in the comments in the chat for those of you that have been watching live. But we'll also, I'll say, how long is this good for, Gene, before I announce that?
For the, let's make it for the rest of the year. I understand that everyone's busy, so wherever we can get that lodged into, I'm here to help serve you.
Fantastic. So that URL that you want to go to, it's now in the Facebook chat, YouTube chat, LinkedIn chat. It's just chatting it up. It's everywhere now. But you want to go to the following website. So get out a pen and paper. It's a long one. So you want to go to Calendly. So it's like calendar, but Calendly, L-Y at the end, calendly.com/Gene-Bernier, and that's spelled Bernier. And by the way, Gene is Gene, just in case there are multiple spellings for that.
Okay.
/mind-body-business-winner. So I'll say it all together one more time. It's Calendly.com/Gene-Bernier/mind-body-business-winner. I should have had that as a graphic for the video ahead of time, but I don't know if it would have fit, to be honest. That was a good one. So I appreciate that, Gene. That's very kind of you to offer that. And for the folks that are watching, this is a choice that you are listening. This is a choice that you need to make for yourself. Now, this is till the end of the year, and we're in 2021, to be clear, for those of you potentially listening to this or watching it after that time. So it's good until the end of 2021. And for those of you that are still able to do that, to take advantage of it, highly recommend it. You can tell this gentleman is very knowledgeable. You can tell that he loves helping people. And I can tell right off the bat, he's not going to try to wrangle you into some kind of sales pitch. He's there to help you. And if you're a fit, then definitely reach out to him and say, hey, I want more help. What else can we do? What's the next step? But what I wanted really to put out there right now is please treat this as a gift, because it is a gift. It is his time. It's very valuable. I know your time is valuable too. I'm not saying that that's not the case, but please treat it with respect and go in prepared and go in knowing that this is a guy that can help you, and he's there for you at that moment. So treat it with what it deserves, which is a lot. And I just implore of you to do that. That being said, do it. Go to Calendly.com/Gene-Bernier/mind-body-business-winner. Whew, I can't say that one more time. I'm telling you, it's getting too tough. But, go there.
Looking forward to connecting with you.
Yeah, absolutely. And if they're not able to remember that, is there another way they can just go? Yeah, he has a contact form on his website.
So you can also go to Peeled Back. So that's PEALEDBACK.com. Go on there. There's a contact form. Connect down there, and we'll jump on a call.
Yeah, just mention you saw him on the Mind Body Business Show, and that you would like to have that talk with him. And do you have that Calendly link? That kind of thing. But yeah, it's on the bottom of his webpage, contact form. In fact, I'll do a quick visual. It's always better to see things, in my humble opinion. So remember, it's oops, wrong one. It's Peeled Back, PEALED back.com, and there's the bottom of it right there. And I'll put that back up so they know the URL. So peeledback.com. I think that's a really cool name, actually, a play on the word. So there's the top. You scroll all the way to the bottom, and here's the contact form on the lower right. So fill that out. Mention the Mind Body Business Show. If you don't remember the Calendly link, or you didn't write it down, which it's
a little big, and hindsight is I would have made it an easier form next time.
No problem whatsoever. I take full cause. In fact, I've done this in the past where I would just create a URL shortener of my own, and it would point to yours, and I just didn't do that. So it's on me as being the host. It's my fault, baby. And that's okay. We'll get it to them one way or the other. So it's all good. Oh my goodness. You know what it's time for, right? It's that question.
Let's hit it.
Oh yeah. So here's the good news with this question. And those of you still on, stick with us. These are huge. These are amazing. One thing that I want to impart upon you, Gene, is it's impossible. There is no such thing as a wrong answer. It's absolutely not possible to answer it incorrectly. And just the opposite is the truth. It is the only answer, the only correct answer is your answer. And that is the only thing that makes it personal. It's just unique to you. So we're not getting into your personal business, and just have fun with it. The thing is, some will take some time to think about it. That's fine. Some will get it right away. That's fine. Why? Because it's your answer. And it will come to you right away, or it will come to you after a few seconds or a minute. It doesn't matter. I'm not paying for the studio time, so that's a good thing. So with that, and now with no more, worrying about what the heck is this question, are you ready?
Let's do it.
Oh, I knew you were going to say yes. All right. Jean Bernier, how do you define success?
Oh, yeah, you hit the good one. Oh man, how do I define success? The answer that comes to my mind, Brian, honestly, is like, more often than not, when my feet hit the ground, am I excited about the day, right? And I think that's like the peak of it. It's not about what I've accomplished in it, or the size of it. Is like, and can I be excited about what happens at that day, and am I just as grateful when my head hits the pillow? If I can do those two things, my days are a success. My life is a success. That means I'm putting out a lot of good. I'm delivering a lot of value all around, starting with myself and letting that go everywhere else. That's I think for me, that's my answer. That's the one that comes up.
You know what's coming. One last bomb. Yes. Oh, yes. For the man, the myth, the legend, Jean Bernier. Thank you so much for coming on, Jean. You've been an absolute joy and pleasure to just chat with tonight. And I know that everyone that's watched this and that's going to listen to this on podcast is going to get supreme value. And again, if you didn't take notes the first time through, go back and do it again. And if you enjoyed this show, feel free to come back and register to get automated reminders of when we go live. Hey, we're all busy. We don't remember a lot of, my gosh, I'm lucky to remember my middle name half the times with everything that's going on. Maybe it's Jean because we're twins. I don't know. Maybe that's what it should be. But definitely register. Just go to themindbodybusinessshow.com, and then you'll see buttons all over the place that are telling you where to watch, where and how to watch. You just click that. It'll take you to the bottom. Registration form, completely free. We're not going to spam you with a bunch of stuff about business. It's just going to give you alerts when we go live, moments before we go live, to give you the link to just make it super easy. You can find it on Facebook, YouTube. We don't take you to all those. We give you one. You just click it and you're on, and you get to watch and listen to amazing people like Jean Bernier. And again, Jean, thank you so very, very much. Amazing, amazing show. Lots of value, and you're just an amazing guy. Appreciate you,
Brian. Thank you so much for having me on. It's a huge honor to be on your show. You've got quite the group of people that I now get to say I was part of, and that in itself is the massive honor. So thank you, sir, for putting this on and letting everybody else get a glimpse getting peeled back behind the scenes.
That's phenomenal. Well, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of my twin brother, Jean Bernier, I am your host, Brian Kelly of the Mind Body Business Show. We'll be back again next time with another phenomenal guest. Until then, so long for now. Good night and be blessed, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to the Mind Body Business Show podcast at www.themindbodybusinessshow.com. My name is Brian Kelly.